Welcome back to day 4 of our time management training. Thank you for being here, and I hope your time inventory went well, and I hope you learned something. Did you learn anything? I'll spoil it for you. How mine went is I realized that every day at like 3 p.m. in the afternoon, I started falling apart. It'd be like I'd be tracking studiously, actually probably at 1 o'clock or 1:30. I'd be tracking exactly what I was doing, and then it'd be like an hour would go by, and I was like, oh, I forgot to write on my paper. And I just realized that in the afternoon I was falling apart. So I plan anytime that I have anything that I'd liked, that I'm excited to do, or that is easy for me to do, like meeting with people, I put all those things in the afternoon, because in the morning I'm so much better at being focused and just cranking things out that I'd rather spend my time doing that in the morning. So there you go. I hope you've learned something similar that you can get some value from in the time inventory. And let's talk about some other tips and tricks. So I guess stepping back, we got really clear on our values with some goals and things, made a really big list of everything that we need to do. We've talked about the importance of time and the time inventory. And now I actually want to not take a step back, but I want to talk about our values and goals, and specifically our roles. So I had, this has been heavy on my mind the last little bit. I'm getting into this new career, right, of life coaching. I've done it for a couple years, but for 10 years I was doing the e-commerce thing, and I love it. And I have, some big ambitions, big aspiration. But I also have a personal life. I have 5 kids. I've got a wife that I love. I love my kids too. But I have a life, and I love it. And it doesn't have anything to do with work. I have to support it through work, but I was able to sell a company early. And so I have to put it all in the right perspective. And I had a friend that, and we weren't very close friends. I met with him and talked about some investments maybe 12 years ago. But his name was Grant Thompson, the King of Random. He had a YouTube channel that got like 12 million subscribers. It was huge, so big. And he passed away. He died in a motor gliding accident a few weeks ago. And I was amazed at how publicized it was. New York Times, USA Today, all these news outlets were telling about the story. And so many people were expressing their condolences and following along because it was such a tragedy. Great guy, beautiful family. It was all good. It was really everything. He achieved everything that most anybody could ever aspire to. And I kind of had an epiphany the other day that in my mind I thought, wow, like if I could achieve that sort of notoriety, that would be like anything I could ever ask for. But then I thought, wow, but it still can end and then you're done. And while you're alive and breathing, you really can spend time with those you love and make sure to focus on your right priorities, because any amount of success outside of the home, and there's a few good quotes that I love about that says any success that you achieve outside of the home will not make up for a lack of focus on your what happens inside the home. I butchered the quote. It's a good one. It's somewhere out there on the interwebs. But for me, it made me realize, I need to make sure that I really don't let the drive to become some mega influencer or whatever with my 115 subscribers, that I don't let that sidetrack me, right? So, which is really funny to say early, but I love this. I love what I'm doing, and I think it's just so much fun. So I keep doing it. But there you go. So it has to come down to roles. You have your we've done our time inventory. We're going to talk calendaring and everything. But before that, get really clear about your roles. There's that example of you have a jar, and then you put the rocks, you put the sand in, the water in, the pebbles in, and the rocks, If you put the rocks in last, they won't fit in. But if you put the rocks in and then the small pebbles, then the sand, then the water, everything fits in, right? So the idea is in your life, you need to make sure to fit into your calendar and into your time enough of the things that you really care about. Because if you don't, then I think you will be sad on your deathbed. So the question is, how do you spend your time? And is it in alignment with your roles? So the real question, right, is what are your roles and what things are important to you? And this is what I want to write down. This is the homework for today. Identify the roles that you really want to make sure that you're spending time on each week. Go. Okay, we got to decline that. Sorry about that. Okay. What are the roles that you want to spend time on? Because if something doesn't align with your goals or with your roles, you need to learn how to say no to them. Seriously.
Will you just come get me?
No.
Oh, will you do me a favor then?
What?
Can you bring me my chapstick?
No, Napoleon.
But my lips hurt real bad.
Just borrow some from the school nurse. I know she has like 5 sticks in her drawer.
I'm not gonna use hers, you sicko.
See ya.
Ugh. Idiot.
Even if the request is really important, if it doesn't align with your goals, but you still want to be a helpful, decent human being, so maybe he should have brought him the chapstick. Okay, so choose your roles. Let me share with you what I've got as far as what my roles are. Father and husband, so that's one of the roles. And every week when I plan, and we're going to talk about weekly planning coming up, we're on day 4 already. Are we on day 4? I'm going to have to go back and look at this. So we're going to talk about that on the next video, about calendaring and planning and everything. But I have my father role. I have my owner of a body role, which is kind of a funny way to say it, but it's like I have, I need to keep this thing. This is the one thing I've got that I own that I need to keep healthy. So whether it's exercising or, good nutrition, whatever, I want to plan and do things every week that make sure that I'm taking care of what I've got from a body perspective. I have the money-making role, like entrepreneur role. I have my friend role. I have my spiritual role, my intellectual role. So every week, when I'm planning, I make sure that each of those roles are being satisfied. Okay, so what I would like you to do is identify which roles you want to make plans around. And one thing that can be helpful to come up with how you're going to spend all that time is to make to put all of those roles through the HATS model. So you come up with the ideal outcome for your physical self, for your spiritual self, for your family. And I did this again 9 months ago, before the new year. And one of the things was I wanted to be able to do a backflip because I wanted to be healthy enough to be able to do a backflip. And I did that. I can do a backflip now. But I've got to be warmed up, because if I'm not warmed up, I will land on my face and get a bruise on my nose about right there. Not that I know from experience, but it's sketchy. Come up with your roles, figure them out. For my father role, one last brag, I'm going on way more dates with my wife since I made that goal, because every week, and we're going to talk about this next in the weekly plan, I have a checklist of things that I need to include to satisfy that role. We have gotten really clear on what we want. We've learned how to put it into a system, and we did our time inventory, and we've chosen our roles. And now that we've done all of those things, we're going to talk about the planning process. I'm excited about it because planning is awesome, and it's going to make you happy if you do it all the time. It is a habit that if you have and it's in place and you're doing this all the time, your whole life is going to go better. Okay, and I've seen this happen in a lot of other entrepreneurs' life that I'm coaching, and they're paying me a lot of money to coach them, and I'm just giving this to you for free on YouTube this first week. It's actually going to move into a paid part, but if you're seeing this for free, then good for you. Okay, so let's talk. I'm going to share several planning tips for when you're actually calendaring. So you have all your tasks and things that you need to be doing. And that's really that's your shopping list. You're shopping from that to based on priority to figure out what the most important thing is for you to get done. So if you have an iPhone, I made an iPhone app called Purpose. It has a picture of a whale, Purpose by Weave Commerce, that will integrate with your Trello list and show you all your cards 2 at a time, where you select which one is most important to you, and that's one way you can prioritize them, which, if I do say so myself, it's really helpful. So let's talk tips. When planning out your week based on your all your goals and roles, I would first start by looking at all the different things that you need to do in a given week. So for me, for example, every week I want to go on a date with my wife. So I'm looking at my calendar and I'm saying, where is our date night? And I'm arranging a babysitter, okay? And I guess it also needs to be said that I plan, and this is important, that you plan your planning time. You plan your planning time to plan every week in the time that you've planned, okay? Every week I put a 2-hour block on a Friday afternoon in my case, where I sit back and I plan. And one tip, if you're sleepy, and then go on a walk and do some of the planning while you do that. So, but you really do need some different screens and things, but I found that if I walk on the trails behind my house, that I can still kind of do these things, and it's great. So plan a time to plan. Make sure to fit all of the different things each week that you put into that you want to support your roles into your calendar. And like I was saying, plan a date with my wife every week. I do a couple endurance activities each week. I say, when am I going to fit a run in? Oh, well, I'm going on a hike. I plan a fun activity every week. I'm going on a hike on Wednesday, so I don't want to go on a longer run on Tuesday. I should do it Monday. And this is really I want you to think of yourself like you're in the command center, like Captain Kirk. You're only telling people what to do. You're not doing anything, okay? And you telling people what to do is you're telling your future self. You say, Dale, on Tuesday, you're going to go for a run then. Don't worry about it now, right? So when am I going to go on a run? Okay, who am I going to get for the babysitter? Let me arrange that. If I go on a run on Monday, then I'm going to do my hike on Wednesday. What's happening Friday? And I can do another run then. When am I going to do a longer workout? Okay, I can make it happen at that time. Am I going to go... what am I going to learn about this week? What time am I going to do those things? Am I going to go to like a worship service? At what time am I going to do that? Okay. Am I going to go to the temple or something? What time does that work? Let me coordinate with the person that I'm going to go with. Okay, all these different things from your roles, plan and put those in. And then once you put the rocks in, your most important priorities, that's when you would turn to your tasks into your Trello list and say, based on my goals professionally, what are all the things that I need to get done? And then choose all of those things and plan them. So I don't use a to-do list. I use a to-do list, right? I have Trello. Everything's in there. It's all my to-dos. But what I really try to do is schedule and plan everything that I need to do. So every Trello card, and I think this is a really important tip, it goes into a calendar appointment and I block out the time when I'm going to do it. So you're asking, well, what if your schedule gets changed? And what if things, your day gets shot? It's okay. Move your calendar appointments around and just, so they're all there. You can move it from day to day. I'm moving my calendar around all the time. And that's all right. So another tip is plan different days to do different themed activities. So let me say that a little more clearly. There are you probably have a lot of tasks that are more mundane and easier to do, more repetitive. They don't require as much brain power. Take all of those things and batch them as much as you can. So for me, for example, every Monday and Thursday I use as my more focus days where I'm really trying to get a lot done. I'm ignoring emails and other things more often. I plan a time for email. We're going to talk about distraction in the next video and kind of wrapping this up. But Monday and Thursday are my intense focus days. Tuesday is a buffer day. So I'm okay on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday. I'm okay planning lunches. I'm okay having meetings. I'll let people kind of get onto my calendar. But on the other days, I'm really good at saying no because I want to be able to focus on my stuff. So if I'm intensely focusing on a Monday, Tuesday's my buffer day. Wednesday is that's my fun day. I still work, but that's when I'm more willing to put a longer activity, like a long hike in the morning, or something that is more fun. Thursday is a focus day again, and then Friday is more of a buffer planning. I have some meetings, and it's a catch-up day. All right? So if you've ever tried to just kill it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, be busy all the time, you'll eventually wear out, like I've done lots of times. So I'm starting to recategorize my days based on the type of focus that I'm going to have on it. So there you go. That's it for day 4. I hope that was helpful. As far as homework, get to planning a little bit and look at your calendar and see if you can commit to keeping your calendar going. If your calendar's not set up, if it's not synced with your phone, then work on that. But you want to have a calendar that you trust so you can refer back to it often. So I'm going to see you. So is that, man, that's unclear homework. I guess we don't have great homework today, but you need to have everything done from these first 4 days. And we're going to talk about day 5 on the next video. So see you tomorrow.